In this video, we'll be taking a look at Darth Vader for the Emperor's Throne Room Duel for the Saga line in 2003. So this is actually not the Darth Vader I was expecting to get. I got this recently thinking it was one that I used to have, and then when I opened it up out of the package, I was like, wait a minute, this isn't the exact Vader I used to own. It's very close though, and it's kind of deceiving at first because I'll just go ahead and take it off right now. He does have the removable helmet, and then I looked at the head and thought, oh, that looks very similar to a Vader I used to own. So I'll tell a quick story about that. One day I was walking home, and on the side of the sidewalk, I happened to see a Vader action figure. He was missing all the accessories, no cape, no helmet. It was just like this without all the parts. Yeah. Laying off to the side, and he was extremely muddy and dirty. So I brought him home with me and cleaned him up, and then added him to my collection. I do not have that action figure anymore because, similar to stories I've told before, I went ahead and sold him when I was trying to downsize some of my collection a little bit. And then I thought, well, why am I going to keep this incomplete Vader? And I can't really do a whole lot with him. So I went ahead and sold him. I'm pretty sure it was Vader from the Power of the Force line, or maybe even the Saga collection. But it was definitely a Return of the Jedi specific Vader. And I thought this one was it, but it ended up not being the case. But still, I'm okay with having this Vader. I'll certainly keep this one for my collection. I only paid a couple dollars for it anyway, so it's not a huge loss. But for people that might want a definitive Vader for your collection, or you're looking for a few of the best Vaders Hasbro ever made, this one's definitely not it. It has a lot of action features about it, but overall the engineering of it's kind of wonky, and he doesn't really hold his parts on very well. This cape does not want to stay on at all. Just a little bit of a flick is enough to have it pop off. Although this cape is a reuse from another Saga Vader, and it's the Empire Strikes Back one where he has all the Bespin dual accessories. And it's at that specific scene where he ends up cutting off Luke's hand. Other than that, or either this Vader is reusing that cape or that Vader is reusing this cape. I'm not sure exactly which one came out first. I used to own that Vader as well. In fact, that was my very first one I own. But other than that, I think this Vader is pretty much an all-new sculpt. So the helmet, it's okay. It's not the best in the world, but it's good enough to convince you that, yes, this is Darth Vader. You can tell the dome is a little bit more flared out. Hasbro did sculpt a chain on his armor there, which that's a pretty good feature about it. It's not loose, and it's just part of the armor. But obviously the paint color is not totally accurate because there's no silver at all on him. It's just all black. Does have the control box there. And of course, his robes has a little bit of a flare to it. And the rest of his legs. And then the removable helmet, which it does have a pretty good Sebastian Shaw appearance. It is pretty convincing. It does have all the scarring. And they did a nice job with all the gadgets around his mouth there. And this is just all one helmet. The mask and the dome are not separate. Yeah, it looks like it's all sculpted as one piece. You just put it on there. So articulation, swivel neck. This is a hinge shoulder, but it's more to accommodate for the action feature. This one's a swivel shoulder. It does have a hinge elbow right here, but again, action feature or part of it. Swivel wrist for both, I think. No, it's just a swivel wrist on this side. But there's nothing in the elbow or wrist on this one then. Swivel waist, but again, part of the action feature, or the action feature. Swivel hips, then nothing in the knees or ankles. Alright, so the main thing about this, so he's supposed to be able to do a lightsaber throw. It's kind of goofy how it's done. You can see he's got the button back here. And then what you're supposed to do is rotate Vader about 90 degrees like this. And then it's simulating the lightsaber throw. Can't really do it with the cape on. I suppose you could, but it's not very easy, and there's a good chance it's going to fall off on you. Let's see. Yeah. And of course, the lightsaber can fall out of his hand because it's not actually gripped in his hand. It's just held there by a magnet, as you can see. We don't really have the magnetic hands so much anymore with Hasbro action figures, but this was a pretty common thing at this time. I used to have many action figures that did have magnetic hands. And of course, this lightsaber, which does have a removable blade here. And you can have them throwing it with no blade attached. But that's pretty much all I can tell you about this action figure. It is what it is. If you're a big fan of the action features that are popular around this time, then it's not too bad. As far as all the action features go, that's not too bad of one. But would I recommend this figure for your collection? If you're looking for a definitive Vader, or you only want a few in your collection, this is probably not going to be one for you. Although if you have a large collection of Vaders, like I do, and you want to try and add some different ones that, of course, include it like an action feature, or you're not particular at this point about how he looks, you just want a Vader, then it's an alright one for what it is. Of course, if you want something a little more definitive, you're probably going to want the VC08 one, like this one here, which is a very nice action figure. You can tell the difference between the two. And to think there's really only about 6 years differences between these two. But the action figure is what it is. Like I said, I only paid probably $4 for this after the grand total of taxes and shipping and everything. So not too bad at all. And it was brand new, so obviously it's not a high in demand Vader action figure, and if you really want it, it's certainly an option for you. Still, I'm glad he's in my collection now, and I'll definitely display him with the rest of my Vaders. But anyways, that concludes this review. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for plenty more reviews in the future. There'll always be more to come. If you haven't already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all your support. And check out some links in the description if you haven't done so already. And as always, thanks for watching.